Hey there, it's V from Movies Hunter. Today I have the privilege of introducing you to a beautiful and emotional, just like me, film called The Concubine. The early Joseon dynasty, and I sure hope I'm pronouncing that right, was basically a time of great change and uncertainty, and it's in this backdrop that we are introduced to Prince Sung-woon. As he arrives at an aristocrat's house for dinner, he sets his eyes on Hwa-yoon and feels an instant attraction. But little does he know, she is already in love with Kwon-yu, the adopted son of the aristocrat. Sung-woon's mother, who was once the concubine of the previous king, warns him to stay away from Hwa-yoon for fear of damaging the reputation. The present king is in search of a new queen, and the responsibility of finding one falls on Sung-woon's mother. The thought of Hwa-yoon becoming a concubine breaks her heart, and she decides to, run away with Kwon-yu. However, their love is not meant to be, as the couple is caught by the guards. Hwa-yoon must make the ultimate sacrifice, choosing to become the queen to spare Kwon-yu's life. 5 years pass, and Hwa-yoon is now the queen with a son to call her own. Sung-woon, who had been away for those 5 years, returns to the palace to see his ill brother, the king. And as he lays eyes on Hwa-yoon, he realizes that his feelings for her have never faded. He gives her a hairpin, a symbol of his undying love. The news of the king's worsening condition sends shockwaves through the kingdom. Despite everyone's efforts to save him, he eventually succumbs to a mysterious illness. But Hwa-yoon's father believes it wasn't just an illness. He suspects foul play, a poisonous assassination. Now determined to uncover the truth, Hwa-yoon's father sets out on a mission to find answers. But before he can make any headway, he and his followers are arrested under the command of Sung-woon's mother. With the throne now empty, Sung-woon takes his place as the new king. His mother names herself the Queen Mother, effectively taking control of the royal court. Hwa-yoon and her son are forced to live in a humble residence, constantly under surveillance, but Hwa-yoon refuses to be silenced. She is determined to prove that the previous king was poisoned and sets out on a quest to uncover the truth. After some investigating, she discovers that on the day of the king's death, he had lunch with Sung-woon's mother. One night, Sung-woon pays Hwa-yoon a secret visit, promising to release her father soon. In the course of their conversation, she discovers that her former lover, Kwon-yu, is now working in the palace among the eunuchs. But Sung-woon's mother catches wind of the visit and warns Sung-woon that Hwa-yoon is still a threat to the rule, and he must stay away from her. Desperate for help, Hwa-yoon seeks out Kwon-yu. She is overjoyed to see that he is alive and not dead, but her happiness is short-lived. Kwon-yu, still filled with resentment towards Hwa-yoon, refuses to help her in her quest for the truth. Kwon-yu breaks the devastating news to Hwa-yoon that after she left, her father ordered Kwon-yu to be castrated as punishment for eloping with his daughter. Tragically, Kwon-yu has now allied with Minister Yoon and the Queen Mother, and he even seeks revenge by demanding the execution of Hwa-yoon's father. When Hwa-yoon finds out about the impending execution, she pleads with Sung-woon to stop it, but the Queen Mother is set on punishing Hwa-yoon and her family, leaving Sung-woon with no choice but to step up and take control as the king. He bravely orders Kwon-yu to halt the execution, but Kwon-yu defies Sung-woon's commands and carries out the punishment anyway. The court then suggests banishing Hwa-yoon and her son, but Sung-woon refuses, unable to bear the thought of a widowed mother suffering for her father's mistakes. He approaches Hwa-yoon with love and care, but she pushes him away, still grappling with the pain of her loss and partly blaming Sung-woon for her father's death. So Sung-woon takes a different approach, taking Yu-mook, Hwa-yoon's personal maid, as a minor concubine, whatever that means. Through her, Sung-woon gains intimate knowledge of Hwa-yoon's personal habits and finds himself becoming increasingly intrigued by her. Hwa-yoon is still heartbroken from her father's passing and is unsure of what to do next. However, she decides to try and win back Sung-woon's affections by wearing the hairpin he gifted her years ago. But little does she know, Sung-woon's mother sees Hwa-yoon and her son as a threat to their family's power and orders Minister Yoon to have them both, assassinated. Kwon-yu, eager to secure his own position at the court, agrees to carry out the task. Meanwhile, Yu-mook is determined to become a mother to a prince and solidify her place as a major concubine. She even goes so far as to ask Hwa-yoon for her jewelry and even takes the same hairpin that Sung-woon gave Hwa-yoon. As time goes on, Sung-woon is feeling the pressure from his mother to have a son and secure their bloodline, but he is tired of being controlled and visits Gyeong-wook, who is now a promoted concubine. However, when he sees that she is wearing the hairpin, he gave to Hwa-yoon, he becomes furious. In a desperate attempt to save herself, Gyumuk reveals that Kwon Yu had a relationship with Hwa-yoon before she became a concubine. Sung-woon was filled with rage as he confronted Hwa-yoon, accusing her of hiding Kwon Yu as a fake eunuch in the palace and even asking if Kwon-woo was the real father of her child. But Hwa-yoon denied all the accusations, pleading her innocence. In a moment of desperation, Sung-woon ripped down Kwon Yu's pants, only to find that he was indeed castrated and proving Hwa-yoon's innocence. Despite this, Sung-woon's desires were too strong, and he tried to force himself on Hwa-yoon. However, she bravely stood her ground and told him to return only when he became a true king. The next day, Kwon Yu had a change of heart, now believing himself to be the father of Hwa-yoon's son. He tried to convince her to run away from the palace together, but she refused, not wanting to endanger her son. She was determined to protect him at any cost. Tragically, Kwon Yu was tasked with poisoning Hwa-yoon and her son, as ordered by evil Queen Mother and Minister Yoon. But in a moment of bravery, he switched the poison to Sung-woon's drink instead, hoping to kill him and put Hwa-yoon's son on the throne. However, Sung-woon did not drink the poison, and instead he commanded Kwon Yu to drink it. With no other choice, Kwon Yu drank the poison and began to vomit blood. Sung-woon was shocked by this turn of events and decided to save Kwon Yu, eager to uncover the truth. Through his interrogations of the physician, he learned that the head of the medicine was none other than Minister Yoon, who directly worked for Queen Mother, raising suspicions that she had tried to assassinate Sung-woon. Soon after everything, Hwa-yoon takes the heart-wrenching step of sending her son to a safe place, knowing that there is danger lurking in the palace. But despite this, she is eventually arrested by the Queen Mother, accused of treason. The Queen Mother orders Minister Yoon to get rid of Hwa-yoon, but before he can carry out the deed, Sung-woon steps in, sending the royal guard to arrest Minister Yoon. Sung-woon confronts the Queen Mother, his own mother, with a shocking accusation that she tried to assassinate him, Hwa-yoon, and her son in an attempt to seize the throne for herself. The Queen Mother denies the charge, insisting that she cares for Sung-woon deeply. Sad girl, but she makes a terrible admission that she poisoned the previous king so that Sung-woon could take the throne. Sung-woon is shattered by the revelation, struggling to come to terms with the fact that he never wanted to be a king and that now his mother is an evil bitch and he loved his stepbrother, the king, deeply. Now he brings Kwon Yu and Minister Yoon to the court, hoping to get to the bottom of the plot to poison him. When he questions Kwon Yu, the man lies, blaming the Queen Mother and Minister Yoon for the assassination attempt. Sung-woon is even more devastated by the deception and orders his guards to execute those responsible. And as for the Queen Mother, she is confined to her chambers under permanent house arrest. As Kwon Yu is led away to his execution, Hwa-yoon visits him one final time. With tears in her eyes, she thanks Kwon Yu for keeping his promise to protect her and their son. But when Kwon Yu pleads with her to take care of their child after he's gone, Hwa-yoon breaks his heart by revealing that the prince is not just his son, but hers alone. Kwon Yu's sacrifice for Hwa-yoon and her child now seems meaningless, as he realizes that he may have given up everything for someone who may not even be his own. As she approaches King Sung-woon, the man who longed for her affection, Hwa-yoon finally accepts his love and the two share a romantic moment together. But suddenly, Hwa-yoon stabs Sung-woon in the neck with a hairpin, ending the life of a man who'd given her everything. The Queen Mother too falls victim to Hwa-yoon's plot, and as she and her son return to the royal court, Hwa-yoon realizes that there is no turning back. She has committed a crime that she'll never be able to forgive herself for. In this moment, Hwa-yoon understands that by killing Sung-woon, she's become no different from the Queen Mother, the very person she despised. And so ends the story of the concubine. I hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next time. Subscribe, bye!